Because when you meet somebody, the first thing you say is, what's your Instagram? But I also think Instagram is a very important app to have. Since I had deleted that Instagram, I had to kind of start over a little bit. So what used to work before don't work the same now. So what's the strategy? Welcome back to What's the Strategy? And I got the strategy. So let's talk about Instagram for a little bit, because some of us love Instagram, some of us don't like Instagram. Me and Instagram had a love-hate relationship, and that's only because I had to start over on Instagram. So I used to have 100,000 followers on Instagram, grew that organically. I think that was in 2012. Now, it took some strategy to grow that specific page as well in the beginning, and then after that, it just kind of took off. So I had a hair page called Filthy Rich Tresses, and I also had a YouTube called Filthy Rich Tresses as well, and that grew as well. The YouTube didn't take as much strategy, but definitely the Instagram took a little strategy in the beginning. The whole follow me, follow back, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, since I had deleted that Instagram, I had to kind of start over a little bit, and it was a little bit confusing because things change. Like, things on Instagram, Facebook, all social medias, they change. It goes in a different rotation. So what used to work before don't work the same now. So maybe what worked last year may not work as well now with trying to grow your page. So me and Instagram have like a love-hate relationship. But I also think Instagram is a very important app to have. It's very important that you have a brand presence on Instagram, because when you meet somebody, the first thing you say is, what's your Instagram? You don't say, what's your TikTok? You don't say, what's your YouTube? You don't say, what's your Facebook? You say, what's your Instagram? And usually you ask, what's your Instagram? Because if you go on somebody's Instagram page, you can see how many followers they got. You can see who they follow. You can see what kind of things they like, what kind of things they post. You can kind of gather a little bit about somebody from what their Instagram says. So Instagram is almost like Google. It's like, what's your Instagram? Or if it's a restaurant you're going to go to, you like, let me look up their Instagram to see what kind of things the restaurant offers or where this is at or whatever. So I almost use Instagram like Google. When I want to look up a restaurant and look at the food, when I want to see what a person is or what they're doing or whatever their brand is, almost like it's just a brand identity, a brand presence. So Instagram is very, very important to use. So while a lot of people are on TikTok, and it's this whole thing about the TikTok ban, a lot of people are trying to figure out what social media app are we going to next. Are we going to YouTube? Are we going to Instagram or whatever? But I think it's very important to have Instagram. So we're going to talk a little bit today about the pros and cons of having an Instagram and why I think that you should have an Instagram. So some of the pros of Instagram is that there's always new updates. They're always updating the app to give the user a better experience. They also have new things as far as for creatives, because they found that most people on the app are creatives or entrepreneurs, and so they had to offer more creative tools for creatives. So one of the new things that came up on Instagram is they have a creator marketplace, and this is almost like TikTok Shop, but it's not TikTok Shop. It's a place where brands can find you, and if they're interested in you, you can possibly do a brand deal with them, a paid brand deal with them. But the thing is, it's like in this beta stage, so it's not all the way worked out. It's not a lot of brands on there. You can go on there and you can see what brands that may fit best with your niche or your brand, and you can click I'm interested in. And if the brand is interested in working with you, they will contact you. So it's a start, having that Instagram marketplace. And there's a bunch of other things that you can have on Instagram as well. If you're a business, you can have a shop on there where people can shop directly from Instagram to shop your brand. There's a lot of great benefits as far as that for brands or businesses and things like that. Another thing that they have is where you can connect to Facebook. So if you have a regular Instagram page, you can connect it to your Facebook page and bring it out, and you'll get more views. And the thing about Facebook is that they also have the thing where you can have shoppable videos, where you can add your Amazon link or LTK link and a few other links to your video to be able to monetize from your video, because you get commission when somebody buys from your Amazon storefront or your LTK. So that's another plus, is that you have the chance to push your content out to a different audience and get more views than just only on Instagram. You can connect it to your Facebook page, and you can optimize on both social medias at the same exact time. Another thing, and what I really love about Instagram, is that it's more personal. It's personal collabs with brands and people. You get to know people more on a personal level rather than TikTok or YouTube or whatever. How I grew on my last Instagram page is hooking up with people that already had big following on Instagram. And when they tag you, their Instagram followers will follow you. So it's like a follow me, follow back, or a barter type system or whatever. And the thing is that you get to collab with so many different type of people that already have audiences, or already have brands, or already have things going on. It's like a lot of people on Instagram that's kind of already like grandfathered in. So you can really do a lot. It can grow your business on Instagram. It's way more personal to meet friends and connect with people and do different things on Instagram. So that's some of the pros of having Instagram and why I think it's crucial to have an Instagram, but there's also some cons to having Instagram as well. So if you're a new creator on Instagram, or you're starting a new page or a new business, you know on TikTok the algorithm is not broken. So if you post something on TikTok, is pretty much, you can build rather quickly on there. I built up this page that I have, Sade the Strategist. I built that page in a month. I had 10,000 followers. So that was fairly easy to build on TikTok quickly, 10,000 followers. But on apps like YouTube or Instagram, it takes a little bit longer to build, and that's because they don't know where to place your content at. It's not as easy for them to recognize what your content is and where to place them. And like I said before, a lot of people on Instagram are already grandfathered in, so they have who they like to follow. So like, it's almost like a clique. It's like new people, we don't know yet if we want to let you in our clique. So the thing is, with Instagram, you have to be very intentional, which brings me to my next thing, is being intentional about your content. You have to be very intentional about your content and what you post. Like on TikTok, you can pick up your phone and record anything. You can be in your bed, you can have crust in your eyes, you cannot do your hair, you can look whatever way. On Instagram, it's not like that. It's a whole different audience. And so you have to make sure that your content is intentional. And what I mean by that, like the lighting or the video quality has to be good. It has to be above par, because when you upload on Instagram anyway, it like downloads the downgrades the video quality. I don't know why, but it downgrades the video quality a little bit. But if your video quality is really good, you have more chances of somebody staying on your video and watching your video. And then another thing about Instagram is the aesthetics. It's more like an aesthetic brand. So TikTok, a lot of people don't really have an aesthetic, but on Instagram, you have to have an aesthetic. I don't care what that is, if it's comedy videos, if it's fashion, if it's beauty, if it's tech, whatever it is, it has to have a certain type of aesthetic. If you look at the aesthetics of business videos, you always see them that have captions on the screen, different colors. It's very bold. It's very like, done up, the content and things like that. It's very in your face, direct. And then you have stuff like quotes where you have random videos, you have text over top, but the videos are top tier, nice quality. So you have to have a certain type of aesthetic when you're doing Instagram, and a lot of people don't want to have aesthetic, or that's annoying being intentional about your video, especially if you're somebody coming from TikTok where you could just pick up your camera and just do it. Same for YouTube, you have to have a certain type of aesthetic. You can't just upload any type of grainy video or any type of video that just is whatever or makes no sense. It has to have an aesthetic to it. It has to have a flow to it and a feel to it. So those are some cons about it. So what's the strategy? So the strategy is to, number one, don't delete your Instagram. Go on Instagram, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to take 30 to 60 days and post consistently every day. I want you to use about 3 hashtags and post your content consistently every day for 30 to 60 days. And I want you to see what happens. I want you to be very intentional about your content. I want you to be very intentional about what you post, how it looks, the aesthetics. The great thing is you can go on Reels and type in whatever it is you're doing, and you can see the aesthetics of other people, and they can give you some idea of what you should do on Instagram as far as your aesthetics. Once you get the hang of it, it's like you have to have a different hat for Instagram, just like you have to have a different hat for YouTube or TikTok. Instagram is a different hat, so you have to put your different hat on. And then the thing that you can do is repurpose your old content. So your old content is absolutely not obsolete. You just just have to repurpose them and do something that's going to fit more of the aesthetic on Instagram. So it may take you a little bit of time in the beginning, but once you get the hang of it, I think you'll be able to flow easily on Instagram and not look at it as such an app where it's just, oh, everybody's just bougie, everybody's just mean, and there are people that are mean and they may say mean stuff, but you'll build your community over time, but it's just going to take some time. So that's the strategy, y'all. Make sure y'all like and share this video with somebody that's trying to build on Instagram or social media in general. And make sure you follow my Instagram at Sade the Strategist. It's something that I'm testing, I'm building right along with y'all, so I can give y'all the strategy right along as I do it. So that's it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.